Salute, welcome back to my world of stuff. I'm off to the cinema today, going off to see The Lost King, the new drama, comedy, British film starring Steve Coogan and Sally Hawkins, which is the story of the discovery of the remains of Richard III in a Leicester car park. Sounds pretty good. It's not the sort of film I would normally see. This channel's normally devoted to sort of fantasy, science fiction, Doctor Who stuff, but hey, it sounds quite good, and I'm a big fan of Steve Coogan. Okay, I will report back after this. Also, if you're watching this video, why not like and subscribe? Why not look at some of the previous videos? This month's been very, very poor in terms of views. Yeah, like and subscribe and share. Tell people about this channel, because as I said, it seems to be going downhill at the moment, and once again I may be reaching that decision point as to whether it's worth me carrying on if I'm only getting 20-30 views. Certainly the horror stuff has been a complete disaster, but I will press on for a little while with some new stuff. So anyway, I'll see you on the other side of this. Hello and welcome back. Right, The Lost King, which I saw. In fact, I'm recording this the day after I actually saw it. So, yeah, I saw this yesterday. Directed by Stephen Frears, written by Steve Coogan and Jeff Pope, and starring Sally Hawkins, Steve Coogan, James Fleet, Mark Addy. This is a very nice little film. This is a very nice, warm, early autumn sort of afternoon film. I went into the cinema. As you can see, there was nobody there. In fact, two people did come in just before the film, literally the second the film started. A really nice, unshowy and pretentious little film based on the true story of a woman called Philippa Hartley, who lived in Edinburgh. She suffers from ME. She's estranged from her husband, John, played by Steve Coogan. And although they're estranged, he still comes to visit because they've got two young sons to look after. So they've sort of split amicably, if you like. She becomes intrigued during a theatre show that she goes to with one of her sons with the story of Richard III, who infamously his whereabouts, his last resting place, were at the time unknown. And she decides that she wants to find out whatever happened to him. She wants to find out if the story is about him being an evil monster, you know, the story of the Princess in the Tower and so on, and being a hunchback as depicted by William Shakespeare in the play. She wants to find out if any of that is true. And the only way really to do that is to research, to find out where he may have ended up and where his body may have ended up. It becomes a sort of an obsession. She does a lot of research. She gets books from a bookshop, and she just spends a lot of time looking into this. And she realizes that the information is all out there, but in different places. Nobody's ever pulled it all together. And she has a pretty good idea that she knows where the remains are. It's then the story of her battle to try and get the funds together to launch an archaeological dig at a site in a car park in the social services in Leicester. It's an uphill struggle because she has no credentials for this sort of thing. She's just a very unusual sort of housewife, if you like. But she's so passionate about it and she cares so much about it that eventually she starts to make headway. So what we have across this film, it's about 108 minutes. It's the story of this woman's passion and dedication to lay to rest a ghost from the past and to solve one of the great mysteries of the past. And it is based on the true story. There has been a little bit of controversy since the film was released because the University of Leicester, according to the film, although they put some money towards the funding of the dig, as soon as the body was found, and it was found, I don't think that's a spoiler, they tried to claim all the credit for it. According to the film, now, there is a bit of controversy because they said that wasn't quite the case. They worked with Philippa quite closely. But the film suggests that she was sort of elbowed out a little bit, even though it was her passion and her battle. when the body was found, she was sort of sidelined slightly. I don't know if that's true or not. The university says no, but that's by the by. Maybe, you know, the reality was altered slightly to give the film a bit more of a dramatic punch to it towards the end. I really enjoyed this. It was a nice little film. Sally Hawkins, as ever, she gives a fantastic performance. She's terrific. Steve Coogan's very good in a fairly, well, I wouldn't say it's a small supporting role, but it's not it's not a showy role for him. He plays the husband who's sort of separated from her, but still obviously has affection for her, and he wants to do the right thing for the family. It's quite nice actually to see a film where an estranged husband isn't depicted as this brutal, abusive monster. He's just a couple who've sort of drifted apart for various reasons, but they're still very, very close, and that's quite nice to see. It's funny in places. It's not exactly a comedy, but it does have some quite humorous moments to it, and I suppose the whole idea is sort of almost humorous in a way. But it's told as a drama, and you're with her every step of the way. You really want her to get there. She's sort of visited, if you like, by an apparition of Richard III, who is played by the actor Harry Lloyd, who some of you may remember. He was in the BBC Robin Hood series, and Doctor Who fans will remember him as Son of Mine in the two-part Human Nature Family of Blood story from, I think it was the 2007 Doctor Who series. He's great. I've always thought he's a good actor. He's very striking looking, very resonant voice, and he plays this apparition of Richard III that she sees based on the actor she's seen playing the part. And she's so obsessed with Richard III that he sort of encourages her and he's there for her. That's a dramatic device which will either work for you or won't work for you. I think it worked for me because it was quite nicely done. Again, I imagine that's a fantasy of the script. I don't think that Philippa herself claims that she was haunted by Richard III, but it's a nice sort of dramatic touch. But it does sort of tips it into sort of a strange fantasy that the story wouldn't necessarily be and otherwise. Not a lot else to say about it really. It's very nicely shot, but it's typical of that sort of low budget, mid-budget British true life film. This could have been a BBC mini-series, 2 or 3 episodes quite easily. Doesn't really gain much from being on the big screen. There's nothing cinematic about it, but it's just nice to see films like this still getting onto the circuit, because of course we're so used to the blockbusters, the Marvel films and the DC films and all the big franchise titles that block up the cinema screens for months on end. It's nice to see some of this pushing through, and a reminder that, you know, there is still life in British cinema. It's a very nice feel-good film. You come out of the cinema feeling a bit warmer inside, I think, and sometimes that's what it's all about, especially at the moment. That's The Lost King in cinemas now, recommended from me, where I'm going to give it. It's not a life-changing film. It will rock your world, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. The Lost King. Right, thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed this video, why not like it? You could subscribe. You could also share it with people. And I'll see you soon. There'll be another video coming up very soon about this channel, so stay tuned for that. Until I see you next time, keep taking the stuff.